And welcome now to Module 3, Part 5. And in this section, what we're going to have a look at is the survey message and the filter survey itself. So before we jump into the detail, let's just refresh our memories of where we are in the overall sequence. Okay, so if you remember, where we are now is we've sent out our connection invitations. We've followed that up with a thank you and introductory message. We've then sent two pieces of value to our connections and prospects, and then we've sent them the just one question message. The next thing we need to do is to ask them to complete our survey. So what I'm going to show you is the actual message that I send out to ask people to complete the survey for me, and also the questions that I ask and why. What's the psychology? There's a lot going on in a survey that you need to be aware of to get it to work correctly. So let's have a look at the message I use at the end of this particular sequence to get people to kindly complete the survey for me. And then we'll have a look at the questions and the structure of the survey itself. So let's dive into that now. Okay, so this is the survey message that I use to get people to complete my survey. What I want to take you through is the embedded psychology and the reasoning for the very careful wording in this message so that you can mirror exactly what I do. Okay, so as you know, when we send out a message on LinkedIn, the recipient only sees the first two lines. So we need to get some intrigue in there to get them to open the message up and consume the whole thing. So we say, hi, could you help me, please? And we want them to think in their mind, well, potentially, yes, but with what? So we go on to say, I'm conducting some important confidential research on how businesses are using LinkedIn at present to help me compile a paper on how better results could be achieved. It only takes about 45 seconds to complete, and your help would be most gratefully appreciated. I assure you your answers will not be published and will be kept confidential. To help me with this short survey, please just click the link here. And then we embed the link into the survey software there. With grateful thanks, Simon. Okay, so what's going on in that short message? As usual, we keep our messages short and sweet on LinkedIn because people don't have a lot of time. So we've got to be to the point, but give them some reassurances, but also give people a reason why completing the survey will be helpful to them and helpful to myself and to other people. So I'm conducting some important confidential research. Let's just have a look at that part of the sentence. It's important. We're not actually saying why it's important, but we're saying it's important. There's been studies done on why we need to justify our questions to people to get compliance with a small c, i.e. to get people to follow the request. If you say things like, could you complete this survey for me? Very few people will do it. But if you say just simple things like, could you complete this because it's important? There'll be a significant uptake, would you believe, in the compliance, i.e. people who complete the survey for you. But also I wanted to make the recipient know that there's no risk to them, because one of the things in their mind could be, well, what's going to happen with the data? What's going to happen with my answers? So that's why I've used the word confidential there twice in this message, okay, to assure them right at the front that the survey is important and that it's going to be kept confidential. And why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing some research on how businesses use LinkedIn at present. Genuinely, that is what I'm doing. I'm finding out what's going on with businesses out there. And you'll see that when we come to the actual survey itself, because that will help me with my marketing. It will also help me create better content to help people at a higher level. So it is important. I am doing research. And also that it will help me compile a paper on how to get better results. That paper is actually going to be a lead magnet. I'm continually asking the market what it thinks, how is it responding to LinkedIn, how is it using LinkedIn, what results is it getting, what are the challenges. So I'm digging into what's going on in their mind so I can create better resources to help my prospects and potential clients. So indeed, I am going to be creating maybe not just one paper, but a number over the course of time to help people at a better level, to help them get better results. So genuinely, that sentence is absolutely the truth. It's important, it's confidential. I'm doing some research on how people are using LinkedIn so that it could create content to help them get better results. Now, another reassurance, people don't want to be wasting a lot of time filling out a really long, boring survey. So just a bit of research, not research, a bit of reassurance that this isn't going to take an enormous amount of their time up. It's only going to take 45 seconds. And genuinely, it does. And I would really gratefully appreciate their help, which I certainly would. I assure you, your answers will not be published. So again, reassurance, and I will certainly keep them confidential. To help me with this short survey, please just click this link. So all you've got to do is click this link, and then we embed the link into the message. And then sign off. With grateful thanks, Simon. So no flop, very simple. But it does all the things to trigger their compliance, but also give them reassurance. And it gives them a good reason. You know, why are we doing this? We're doing this for an important reason that is actually going to deliver benefits, or potentially benefits to them. Okay, so let's have a look at the survey questions themselves. How have I structured the survey? Okay, so we're inside the survey questions themselves now. This is on a Word document. We're not actually inside our survey software because depending on the software that you use, it will look different to ours. So I didn't want to confuse that layout, just using a simple Word document to show you the layout and keep it as simple and focused as possible for you. So let's go through this section by section. We need to introduce the survey right at the top. So when somebody clicks through that link from the LinkedIn message, they'll land on a piece of copy first, rather than they just launch straight into giving us answers. We need to support what we're requesting here. So we'd simply say, hi, please spare just 45 seconds to answer my survey questions below. Your answers will be kept completely confidential. So again, we're reinforcing that this won't take a lot of time, but you're not at any risk either. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is to capture their name and email address. That's because we don't want to lose any data. The most important thing we can get from them is their name and email address, because that will give us the ability to follow up via email should we desire. Okay. So those are the first three questions. The other thing to do whenever you're creating a survey is always ask very easy to answer questions right at the beginning. So name, email address will just trip off people's minds, or a yes, no question. It's always the first thing, always, always, always the first thing to do, because what we want people to do is get started with the process in the easiest way possible. Asking a big, long, complicated question right up front is just going to deter people, and your number of responses will be significantly diminished. So always ask a very simple question right up front. Okay, and then we're into the meat of it. Now, I've put the broken line in there to denote that those first three questions are on the first page of your survey. Most good survey systems will allow you to stack up multiple pages so that not all of your questions are immediately visible. And you'll tend to have a progress bar too, okay, to give people an idea that they're progressing through the process. The human brain doesn't like to get started, but once it's started, it likes to finish a task. And that's what we're promoting here, that deeper psychology. There's a lot that goes on with surveys that people aren't generally aware of. So on the first page, we ask first, second, names, and email address. Then they click through to the next page where they just see one question. And the question I ask is, where are you now when it comes to generating leads, inquiries, and sales from LinkedIn? Now, the reason for that question is twofold. I want them to focus on where they are now and what their biggest problem is. What is really irritating them about LinkedIn and their inability to generate any or sufficient leads, inquiries, and sales. Okay, so I don't know where to start. A lot of people say to me, Simon, I just don't know where to start with LinkedIn. That's the biggest problem. Or if they have made a start, it's that their profile, second answer, doesn't get attention and that they don't know how to put it right. Third, I don't have a proven process to generate leads on LinkedIn. These are all the common problems I see, the common complaints I see from people who really want to move forward with LinkedIn. Fourth, I get some leads into my business. I would just love more of them. Next one is I do get leads into my business, but it's a bit feast and famine. Next, I get leads, but I would like more high-value clients. Next one, when I get a potential lead, I don't have a proven process to convert them into a client. All step by step. You see they're going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the perceived problems that they have of getting results from LinkedIn. I want to know what their particular one is. But also, the more I know, and I'm asking, well, is there anything else? Is there anything else that's annoying you, that's bothering you, that's holding you back, that I've not identified here? Because I may not have all the answers. Things change, and other problems, other obstacles can be getting in people's way. So I asked, and this allows them to put an open text answer in there, because that's a way of me finding out if there's something that I've not yet understood, identified, or discovered. Okay, so this question is all about where are you now? What is annoying you at the moment? What's preventing you getting results? Question 5 is now on a separate page, the next page in the sequence. So we know where you are now. Where would you like to get to when it comes to getting leads and inquiries from LinkedIn? First one is, well, I'm not getting leads, but I know LinkedIn could be a great source of business for me. So I want to tap into its potential. Next one, I have some leads, but I want them more consistently. Next, I want to be able to convert more leads that I do get and convert them more often. So that's about consistency and regularity. Last one, I already have leads, but I want to attract more high-value clients. That's all about better targeting, better messaging, better offers. Okay, and then is there something else that you'd like to get out of LinkedIn that I've not identified here? Again, getting deeper results, deeper understanding. So what we've asked in those two questions, question 4 is where are you now? Question 5 is where do you want to be? And as people work through these questions, it gets them to clearly identify where they are at the moment and where they want to be. And what's holding them back. What does the future, potential great future look like when we've solved this problem? But then I want to drill down and quantify this. So, what level of revenue would you like your business to achieve from LinkedIn over the next 12 months? Is it 50 to 75,000 additional income, 75 to 100,000, 100,000 to 250,000, 250 to 500,000, 500,000 to 1 million, 1 million to 5 million, 5 million plus? Because there are businesses I've worked with that do get very high ticket business, and from LinkedIn they can generate over £5 million of additional revenue per year. So I want to get some idea of this individual's scope of ambition, but also I want them to identify to themselves what they want in monetary terms when they've solved the problem. How is their financial status going to be improved when the problem's solved? Okay, so that's question 6. They then flip over into the next page, which is, tell me, how do you help your clients? What problems and outcomes do you help them with? So I want to know more about their business and put the answers in context. A very easy open text question for them to answer. Number 8, another very simple question. So this is a good thing to do at the end of your survey, is to start asking shorter questions again. Okay, how long has your business been running? Now, this is important for me because it's a better prospect is somebody with an established business for me, because they've already got credibility, they've already been getting results with their prospects, they've probably got cash flow already and therefore can afford my support and services. So it's actually part of the filtration system is knowing how long that business has been running. And obviously, the longer the business has been running, the more viable it is. And then number 9, so now if this describes you, this is the really important part now. So we've got them to complete the survey. We now want them to just finish the thing off, and we want to give them a little bit of a narrative and an offer. So if this describes you, if you have a great business, if you deliver massive value to your clients, you have a wealth of client experience with great credibility and strong case studies, but want to move quickly to the next level and generate more leads, inquiries, and sales. You want to have greater impact whilst increasing your income. Then let's talk. Here's why. We've launched an exclusive program where we help selected seasoned professionals generate a consistent flow of high value leads, inquiries, and sales from LinkedIn, helping them achieve greater impact in their markets and substantially increasing their profits and income. Now, if this sounds like you and you'd like to find out more, just enter your details below. We can then arrange an initial Zoom call to explore what expert authority status looks like for you and whether our strategies are a fit. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And then the 3 questions. Yes, Simon, I'm interested. Please contact me to arrange a Zoom call ASAP. Yes, I'm interested, but at a later date. Now, a later date could be next week. It could be next month. It could be possibly in 3 months' time. We don't know. But we're flagging up people who have a level of interest in finding out more and really solving this problem. And the final one is no, not interested, but thank you. So a very polite no, thank you. Now, what we find is that on average, we'll get about 15% of those people responding. 15% will say, yes, I'm interested now. Let's have a conversation. Now, why does that happen? It happens because of the preceding questions. in that we crystallized, we've helped them to get it clearly in their mind that they've got a problem to be solved and LinkedIn is the potential answer. But remember, they've had a lot of value from us before, way before this survey comes into the frame. So they're starting to have a relationship with us, starting to like, know, and trust us at this point. And we see, on average, about 15% of people saying, yes, I'm interested in now. Isn't that great? Then we see about 35% of people saying, yes, I'm interested, but at a later date. So we've got roughly 50% of the people who can be kind enough to complete our questionnaire. 50 to 60% of people will say, yes, I'm interested, either immediately or at a future date. And the rest, that's fine. If they're not interested, they're not interested. That's great. We want to drill down and identify the people who are interested and that we can help. And then what we say is, if you've entered yes to having a call, please enter your best telephone number below so that we can give them a call. We've got their email address, so we can send them a calendar booking link and get them straight into our diaries. And then at the bottom of the survey, we have a button that just gets them to complete the survey, and the survey software will send us the results. Very neat, very simple, very straightforward. Okay, so you're probably wondering, well, what survey tools can we use for this? There are a whole plethora of survey tools out there. Some good ones to have a look at are SurveyMonkey, which is very commonly used, Typeform, and Smart Survey. But we don't have any particular favorite. They all do pretty much the same thing. So there are three that are very good: SurveyMonkey, Typeform, and Smart Survey. But do just put into Google online survey tools, and it will come up with a lot of recommendations, and you can go and do your due diligence and take your pick. Okay, so that concludes module 3 of how we respond to our new LinkedIn connections and how we take them through the message funnel to culminate in people coming towards us and actually actively asking for our help. So now on to module 4, where we'll talk about generating strategic partnerships.